So I'm going to point out the signature characteristics of the work of this person, the signature characteristics in the document itself, and we're going to ask the public to draw their own conclusions and the person to come forth and explain why those characteristics are there.
So you've looked at this individual's signature, and then you've noticed that it appears...
the way they do their work and the way that the signatures are embedded in this document. You know, every forger, it's like, you know, a forger wants their Mona Lisa to hang in the in an art gallery in the Louvre, but they want down the road for some expert to notice a flaw or a signature element where he say, this is not the Mona Lisa, this is done by so-and-so. So the forger wants to be identified. By the way, in using that analogy, the certificate of live birth that the White House released is kind of like a Mona Lisa by numbers. It's that crude.
And you also have discovered initials in the signature, correct?
Well, yes, we have. We've looked. We've got initials. We've got the. I'm on the track of a person I think that was deeply involved when this was done, and I think we're going to be able to pin this down, not just that it's a forgery, but to look at the chain from which the forgery came from within the White House. And I should be able to have this evidence done next week. Also, Alex, I've been releasing, and I will continue to release next week. We can talk about even releasing it, some of it through you. The documents I've got from Kenya, which show that the grandmother's been saying Obama was born there for years. The government, the intelligence services in Kenya have done a search since 2007 for Obama's birth records, and they conclude in government stationery the 1961 birth records in Kenya were criminally altered with an intent to destroy or otherwise disguise Obama birth records in Mombasa. I've got that in government stationery.
Wow, that's breaking here right now.
That's right. And I've got the internal reports from the government. They identified Lady Grigg Hospital, a division of what was essentially Mombasa General Hospital, where they focused their investigations and believed the baby was born. But the government of Kenya concluded, the intelligence service, that the family of Obama was trying to hide an important birth fact. They believed the grandmother that he was born in Kenya. They searched and they identified criminal tampering with the birth records, not random criminal tampering, but tampering so as to hide or destroy Obama birth records in Kenya.
And you are going to produce proof from the government?
I've got proof from Kenyan documents, and I'll work to get them to your producer. We're going to be publishing them in WorldNet Daily.
Wow, when is that bombshell going to drop?
I'll be happy to work with you on that starting Monday.
Okay, clearly, I mean, they've been covering up. They've been acting suspicious. We got the document the day they released it. We hoped it was real because, quite frankly, you know, I'm sick of this. I want to go against his record. But Alex,
I want to say you have done such a great job with your videos. You've done such, WorldNet Daily has been leading this, but I'm going to reach out to the Alex Jones Show, and I'm going to share with you some material so that in your next videos you've got some primary documents and primary work that we're producing at WorldNet Daily. I'm going to make a special effort on this one because you've so impressed me with the extent to which you've exposed this with your videos and your radio show.
Well, thank you. I need to give you then my video editor's email, and then perhaps we can even...
We'll do all that offline. Let's get all that done offline, and we'll start getting things together next week.
Absolutely. Now, the issue I was getting to is that where there's smoke, there's fire. The evidence of the cover-up, as criminologists will tell you, is generally evidence of the crime. The absconding, the evasion that's going on. To have Esquire, who I've noticed particularly with Obama, is their attack dog.
I agree with that.
Come out with this serious economic warfare, vicious espionage. I mean, that's what it is. An attempt to discredit, destroy, have a recall, a run to return the book. The same day they announced they're going to run on the birth certificate and that we're all a bunch of crazy kooks. This shows that they know this issue isn't going away, and they're scared. I mean, if they knew this wasn't true, they would have just gone forward. Break down...
Look, I've got, Alex, in the book, I've got 125 exhibits, including the mother's passport records where she crosses off Obama's name to take him off her passport in Indonesia, indicates his Indonesian name, Soy Barca. The school records where in Indonesia he's Barry Sortoro. The administration, the cannot tolerate if people read this book and see these exhibits. It destroys. This is Barack Obama. If he was adopted in Indonesia, is no longer a natural-born citizen. He's a dual citizen. All the research and evidence I show that Ann Dunham left Hawaii 3 weeks after the baby was born. I've got the college transcripts. I've got the courses she took, the university saying these were night courses, the apartment where she stayed, the babysitter to interview. Ann Dunham did not return to Hawaii until after Barack Obama left. Barack Obama Sr. left. Barack Obama Sr. was never married to Ann Dunham. There was never a marriage ceremony, never a marriage license. They never lived together as man and woman. Ann Dunham had been messing around, spending time in Bill Lederer's bar on Hotel Street in Honolulu, got pregnant, decided she wanted Barack Obama Sr. to be the father. He wasn't real interested, except that it might help him with his immigration and naturalization status to extend his stay in the United States. He lent his name but didn't commit the ceremony. And Ann Dunham herself ran off to Africa without him in the attempt to convince the African family that she deserved to be their princess. It didn't work. When she got home, Barack Obama still did not want to be her husband, and so she packed up baby 3 weeks later, went off to Seattle, was at the University of Washington in Seattle. That's what happened.
And so what you're saying from your deep research and traveling all over the world, and you have all the proof here in the book that, by the way, we sell at Infowars.com on the online video bookstore shopping cart, you're saying that not only are they trying to cover up the fact that he was born in Kenya, but that he's a bastard.
Yes, and that the whole circumstance is told in Dreams for My Father is a fabrication. Mommy and Daddy never lived together in Honolulu. Abercrombie never saw this little family together. People at the university never visited with the, Obama family and baby, because Mommy and baby, 3 weeks after the baby was born, are in Seattle and don't come back to Hawaii until after Barack Obama is gone. Barack Obama Sr. is gone. I've got 8 or 9 articles published in the newspapers. This was the first African student coming to the University of Hawaii. You'd think the local story would be, African comes to the University of Hawaii, meets local girl, gets married, has baby. No. I've got all the addresses where Barack Obama Sr. lived. He lived as a bachelor. He had made no reference in any of the newspapers to having any child or wife in Hawaii. And
well, it's now come out of U.S., just a few weeks ago, big mainstream newspapers and magazines, I'll know you can source them, I just read them a few weeks ago, that he got kicked out of the big U.S. university he was attending because they said it looks like he has multiple wives, women that aren't his wives. He's like a playboy.
Right. At Harvard, this is in the immigration and naturalization file. Barack Obama Sr. at Harvard, there was a Kenyan exchange student in Boston. Barack Obama got her pregnant, too. And he had to fly her to London to get an abortion. This is in the Immigration and Naturalization Service file. Harvard and the INS concluded that his marriage to Ann Dunham was a sham marriage, just done in order to extend his stay in the United States, say he had a wife and a child that he never married and never lived with. And Harvard decided just to cut off his money because they couldn't put a stop to his philandering.
And by the way, this is all public. I mean, this is
all public info. This comes out of the INS file that's been recently released.
Well, by the way, his dad doesn't even look like him to me.
Well, I think with the story I've just told you about Bill Lederer's bar and Ann Dunham getting pregnant and deciding that, her fairy dream would come true if Barack Obama Sr. would just marry her, then this child could be born and she could go off with him to wherever for graduate student, return, he'd become president of Kenya and she'd become Mrs. President. That's what Ann Dunham had in her mind. That's what she told Maxine Bach.
And that's why Obama, Barry Soetoro, has always been obsessed with being president, because it was Mommy's dream to be the president.
It was Mommy's dream. With Daddy, who didn't participate. Daddy looked at this woman, and he said, look, I don't have any money. I'm trying to get through. He entered, I got the whole records. He entered the University of Hawaii as a junior. I know where he first lived in the YMCA building. He had no money. He got on the Phi Beta Kappa list and the dean's list while he was there. 3 years, he had a master's degree. He didn't want to live with this crazy white woman, Ann Dunham. who was determined to tell him, "You're the father of my child, and I'll go to Africa to prove your family will accept me."
Sure, so she doesn't even know. She didn't even know.
Probably not.
Tell you what, stay there. This is too important, and this is why they're so scared. We'll be right back in 1 minute with Dr. Jerome Corsi. Incredible. Look, to be clear, I got to tell you, Dr. Corsi is always very careful about his claims. He's very meticulous. And just finishing the book last week, I knew some of the information in here, but the exhibits, the documentation, and knowing this book was finished months ago, so much of what he's now put in the book, it's as if they're trying to psychologically inoculate with the Boston and papers and New York papers coming out and going, yeah, here's the State Department documents. Here's Harvard, kicking Barack Obama Sr. out for all these wives and fake marriages. All of what's now come out is vindicating what was already written in this book that was done months ago. And look, I've got detractors that lie about me all the time, and I don't even respond because it's a joke. The way they're acting, his press conference, the body language, the fakeness of this new birth certificate, the fact that they said it never existed, and that the last one was real. The governor saying, "I went to look, it's not there." Then it appearing, and now Corsi wouldn't come out and say he's hot on the trail and privately, tell me they even basically know who forged it if they didn't have the meat and potatoes on this. Dr. Corsi, getting back to this Esquire, I'm not a litigious person, but if I had spent millions of dollars to print up hundreds of thousands of books and the 100,000 or so to fly you all over the world and paid you, if I was Joseph Farah, I mean, this was, for those that don't know how the book publishing business works and things this was clearly designed, what Esquire did, saying it was discredited, Farah was recalling it. That was meant to cause a run on the book, people demanding money back, so people that are selling it in bookstores get scared and pull it off shelves, correct?
That's correct. The whole idea was trying to destroy the marketing. Get the book while it's just getting out there and tell people, it's misinformation. Classic misinformation campaign. Intelligence agents do it all the time. The book has been always on sale. It was never pulled. We wanted it to be called Where's the Birth Certificate? Because we were trying to induce Barack Obama to get so scared he'd release the document he released. I knew it had to be false. I know Barack Obama was not born in Hawaii. Kapiolani does not have the records of his mother, and they can't, I don't think, fake them.
By the way, the Kenyan security force, they wouldn't put you on house arrest when you went to Kenya if there wasn't something to hide.
Well, and I have the documents. I've begun to print them. I'm going to do a lot more next week, making it very clear the Kenyan government and the intelligence services did a deep search, a massive amount of searching, going for Obama's birth records. They believe they were there. The grandmother's been saying for years. Grandmother may have told Obama when he first came to Africa, "I was there when you were born."
Why does Michelle Obama, in multiple speeches, we can play right now for folks, 3-4 years ago, give speeches saying we went back to Kenya, his home country, his homeland?
Well, I document in the book, Barack Obama, before he was running for president, was happy to say and have people write and print that he was born in Kenya. And I'm quite confident psychologically, subconsciously, it comes out from Michelle, because he was born in Kenya. And the family knows it. The Kenyan government knows it. They can't find the records because the records were criminally destroyed, but they found the pattern of destruction of birth records in Kenya that documents that Barack Obama's records were intentionally gotten rid of. And the Kenyan government says, they say there's 47 instances in specific of where birth records have been tampered, and they said this is a pattern to destroy Barack Obama's birth records and to alter the birth records around him so as to disguise the pattern.
All right, we've got a few more minutes left with you on the other side. I've got a few other key questions and any other points you've got to make that you think are central. Bob Chapman will also be in the wings, and he'll ask you a question before you leave us. Dr. Jerome Corsi is our guest. It's on sale everywhere. Where's the Birth Certificate? #1 New York Times bestseller. Jerome R. Corsi, Ph.D. They are very, very scared of this book. Bottom line, I'm going to ask him on the other side, is this Obama's Nixon moment? Is this the beginning of a Watergate-type meltdown? Because there's no doubt they're running scared from this. asked yourselves, what are you doing in this time of great challenge? What are you doing to unlock minds?